Today we're going to be looking at this 2022 Maverick XL. And in my last video, I was awash in the drunkenness of living in the Midwest, just with a big truck bias. And upon further review, I think this truck has real utility. And this may be what the Ford Ranger should have been. I remember growing up in the 90s. And I remember even in the early 90s, when I was very young, my uncles used to have the little Nissan trucks, and there was the Ford Rangers running around, and Mazda had a little truck, and they offered a lot of utility. So I had some uncles, and they had like a lawn care business, and they had a little truck like this. They both had little trucks like this, and there was a lot of utility in them. And so I'll start by giving the engine specs. So this is a four-wheel drive model. It has 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque from a 2-liter turbo engine. And this one is rocking Steelies, and it's black paint. It's non-metallic, but it doesn't look bad. Like, it's blacked out. The mirror caps are a matte finish. They do have some texturing on them. Zoom out a little bit. The vehicle's a little dusty, but I like these door handles here. And it's just interesting to look at the trims of this vehicle. I like the trim going around the top of the bed here. And this is an all-wheel drive model, and it says Maverick on the back. I mean, the bed is not huge, but you could fit a washer, dryer, a lawnmower back here. You know, this is very much a truck that has that can serve a lot of different purposes. You don't have to have a business. We'll go ahead and pop the tailgate open. So it is not a soft close tailgate, but that's okay. It's not an automatic tailgate. That is all right. And it does not have a window back here. This is not a huge bed either. So, you know, this is a sub 30 truck. Obviously, this is a used truck. I like that the bumper has a matte finish. This is not grippy, but this has indentation. So, you know, when you're stepping up in here, it doesn't feel, excuse my shoe being untied, but it doesn't feel like super slippery. So yeah, I mean, this is a classy looking truck. And again, I'm not mad at the Steelies. It's rocking 17s. And so it's not a bad look. We'll go ahead and hop in to the vehicle here. You do have your antenna combo here, and I like that. So I will say that's an odd thing to point out, but I like that it does not have your regular antenna here like some of the full-size trucks do, but it has your combo satellite shark fin regular antenna on top of the roof. There is some ridging up here, so that's pretty cool. I like that this is matte black here. Nothing glossy, nothing chromy here. A very, very straightforward look. You even have trim down here to kind of protect the paint and just to add to the utility of the truck. This is a fake vent, but it does say XL here. That is the trim we're looking at. And I will say, opening the door, it does feel very solid. So, I mean, this does feel like a solid vehicle. This is not like a throwaway type. And I love that it has the double pull to open the hood, so you don't have to fiddle around with trying to find a lever. Again, I like that this front grille is blacked out. The front lights look really good. I'm not missing fog lamps. That gives it more utility, in my opinion. Something else you do not have to worry about braking or getting dinged up if you were to clip something. So I do love that. You just raise the hood. It does not have hood struts, but that's okay. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward affair under here, and that is good power for a small truck like this. Again, 250 horsepower. You can change your own plugs. You can change the plug wires. You can change your air box. You can change your battery. There's your coolant right there. And here is your windshield wiper fluid reservoir. Same for the brake fluid. So I'm not mad at this. I mean, it is 2020. This is a 2022 model, and you're going to have turbocharging. And honestly, I kind of prefer that over having like a 3.6 liter engine or a 3-liter engine with less power, and an engine that you would have to like rev out to get to the power. Do keep that in mind with naturally aspirated engines. I mean, they are good. You know, they're less complicated, but you have to rev them out to get to the power. Again, these doors feel very, very solid. We'll take a look at this back seat. This is hard touch. This is soft. All of this is hard touch. I'm a fan of this door, but I wish these cubby areas right here were a little bit more functional. I guess you can put a drink down here and this little knob will hold it. But, and this is kind of weird to me. I would like for these to connect. Like, you could keep this, but I'd like for these to connect. It'd make it a little bit more functional. I'm not mad at this recessed handle. Again, when you look at a Ford Maverick, everything feels very, very solid. This glass feels solid. And this door feels very thick and just heavy duty. I like that this window switch is, it does have metallic trim here. And this is not an automatic window, but who cares about that? In the back seat, I mean, this is a 4-seater, but you're not going to have like a ton of room back here. So I can sit back here, but I kind of have to have my feet spread a little bit. But looking back here, you don't have vents. I mean, this interior is too small to need rear vents, but you have a charge port back here, which is okay. And then these seats are pretty firm. Like, I could sit in these for a long time. I mean, they nestle you pretty good. They're not really bolstered, but they have some padding. And, you know, they feel decent. This fabric feels very sturdy, very rugged. It feels like it'll hold up for a long period of time, which is what you want in a utility vehicle. Here's the view off the back. You do have LED lighting in here. And then you have your grab handles here. Excuse the wind, it is super windy here. That is part of the reason why this truck is dusty a bit. This is a keyed entry truck. So with this vehicle, it's kind of like, what are you really buying this vehicle for? So the fact that it has keyed entry is not a bad thing. Like, really, the engine, the power, the all-wheel drive is what you want. And it's very straightforward. So I would say, like, the strength of this truck is that it's very straightforward and it offers a lot of utility. Like, you could be a family of 4 and drive this vehicle and be okay. Here's a look at the front cabin area. We're gonna hop up there in a second. It looks very clean, very neat, very classy. It's not trying to do too much. Right, so hopping into the front seat, you do not have automatic seats. That's okay. Again, that's not what you're buying this truck for. You kind of get it when you see stuff like that. I like these switches, are neat. I do not like the fact that this is peeling off, but I do like that it's, you know, a metallic looking trim. Here's your lock and unlock button. Again, this handle feels very solid. Yeah, so this almost feels like metal. I'm not sure about that, but it definitely feels strong. You have your speaker right here. You have your headlight knob right there. I guess there is a light for the bed. I like that it says Built Ford Tough here. Like, it doesn't feel bad in here. Like, the front seats are definitely more padded than the back. They have a surprising amount of cushion to me. It's not like American luxury cushion, but I mean, they honestly feel more cushiony than a lot of mid-size sedans, so that's interesting. And the seats are bolstered, so they do kind of hug you. And if you're a larger guy, you know, you might feel a bit too confined in these seats, but they're not incredibly small. You know, I like the layout here. Like I said, this looks clean. These vents are a good size here. Looks like they can put out a lot of air. These HVAC controls are pretty straightforward here. You have another vent over here. And then it looks like you could potentially have speakers in here and over here. I'm not sure about that. This is a pretty standard rear view mirror. This is not a camera or an auto dimming rear view mirror. You do have LED lighting in here, which is dope. USB-A here, USB-C here. You have your drive mode selector down here. You do have an electronic parking brake, auto stop start. Looks like you have a crawl button here, like a hold button. I don't know what that does, but I think that's like a weather mode thing that you can change. So that you do have cup holders down here. You know, you have cubby area down here for your phone. That's neat. You don't have like wireless charging here. This is going to be hard touch. It's textured, you know. It does feel like plastic, obviously. This looks pretty straightforward. I mean, this is a truck, you know. You don't have a massive screen here, but that's okay. That's not what you're getting into this truck for. You just want it to feel modern and to have good utility. And if, you know, you're carrying your family around, you don't want it to feel like super archaic. This is a foam steering wheel. I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but you do have a digital analog kind of setup here, which isn't bad. Here's your headlight stock there. So you can kind of control your high and low beams, turn signals, and then you have your wiper stock here. And you do have Bluetooth, and you have your controls here. So you have all the modern amenities. Like, this isn't a teched out vehicle, but again, that's not what you're in it for. I do feel like I'm sitting a little bit recessed. I'm not quite sitting up, you know, to see over the hood line. So this vehicle obviously sits up a little bit more than a sedan, but I am a taller guy, so it doesn't feel like I'm riding super high in this. But I would just say overall, this is a nice vehicle. I get it now.